if I had to start my photography business all over again, this is exactly what I would do. So photography has become easier than what it had been for the past 20 or even 30 years. Now, you don't even need much experience. You don't even need to be perfect. All you need is the tool, which is your camera. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to create and start your business in 2026 with your camera. So let's talk about camera. What camera do you actually need? A lot of people say, oh, start off with a good camera, start off with a full frame camera, start off with maybe even a DSLR camera. I'm going to tell you that the camera you pick actually doesn't matter in the beginning. What you want to do in the beginning is to create and generate as much experience as you can. So whether it be a DSLR, whether it be a full frame and mirrorless, it doesn't matter. You just need to pick up a camera. However, I suggest to pick a full frame camera. Why? Because the industry is heading towards that direction of a mirrorless full frame camera. With that, you can have longevity and you could use the same camera for the next 5, maybe even 10 years from now. Also, I would recommend to pick up a Sony. And I say that because Sony is the most versatile brand in terms of lenses and in terms of compatibility. You can pick up a Sony and with any lens, you can use that lens on that same or even a different camera body. So with that being said, your camera actually plays little to no impact in the beginning. All you want to do is pick up a camera and shoot. That is all you should have in mind as a beginner photographer. How can I get better with my photography? How can I get better in composition? How can I get better in posing my clients? How can I get better in social media branding and exposure? That's all you should be thinking about, getting better. The first 1 to 4 months of photography as a beginner, you should be thinking about getting better, improving on your skills. And right now, don't even think about money. Money should not be in your mind right now, because let's be honest, no one's gonna pay you right now as a beginner photographer because you have no work to show them why they should hand you maybe $200. You have no work to show, so that would be a bad investment on their part to pay you as a beginner photographer. So now what you need to do is build up your clientele and build up your portfolio with free shoots. Yes, I said free shoots. I know a lot of people don't want to see this. I know a lot of people have bad experiences with this, but free shoots are actually very key in your beginning stage of photography. When I started photography, I used maybe a year just to shoot my friends, my family members. You know, whenever someone had a birthday party, they needed a cameraman to shoot their video or picture, I was there backing them up with the pictures, and that's what you need to do. And it would only last for a couple months. A year at max. Free shoots. Don't be afraid of free shoots. Don't think that, you're selling yourself short. Just think of it as an investment. You're investing in your future. You're investing in your portfolio. So in the next year or so now you can say, okay, I've done birthday shoots. Now you can say I have a list of portraits. Now you can say, oh, okay, I have a wedding portfolio for you. So now you can say you have all these different kinds of shoots that you're available to send to your clients to prove your work. The next thing we're going to talk about is the 3 triangles. And if you're new to photography, the 3 triangles are ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. These 3 things are going to be your best friend, especially if you're shooting in manual. So ISO controls how much light enters your camera. So the higher your ISO, the more light enters your camera. The lower your ISO, the less light enters your camera. Now, aperture controls how blurry or how less blurry the background of your pictures are. So if you look at your camera, there's something called an f-stop, or a F with a number next to it. So the lower that number, the more blurry your background is, which means your sensor is actually being wider, creating more light to enter your picture and causing the background to be blurry. The higher that f-stop, the less blurry your background will be. So if you're someone that likes a blurry background, you'd want to have a lens that goes down to maybe an f-stop of 1.4. Lastly, shutter speed controls how fast you're able to capture moving subjects. So if you look at your camera, there's, in the bottom left or around that area, you'll see a fraction, something that looks like a fraction. That fraction is actually your shutter speed. 1 over 25, 1 over 500, 1 over 300. That is your shutter speed. So the lower your shutter speed, the more light you're introducing into your camera. The higher your shutter speed, the less light you're introducing to your camera. So the lower your shutter speed, let's say I have a still subject. That means that I want my shutter speed to be really low. So let's say 1 over 100 because my subject is not moving. Therefore, I don't need to increase my shutter speed. Let's say I'm shooting a basketball game with a fast moving players. They're going up and down the court. That means that I need to increase my shutter speed to capture that moment. So I would actually increase my shutter speeds to maybe 1 over 8,000. It depends on what type of shoot I'm shooting. The next thing I want to talk about is choosing your creative style. You know, what you really want to create. You know, when I started photography, it took me a while to actually figure out my style and what kind of photographer I was. You know, I was kind of shooting everything. I wasn't really niching down to a certain area, and because of that, when people came to my page, they couldn't really figure out what I was or what I did, because there was a ton of different things out there. So one tip that I would give myself looking in hindsight is to really niche down in the beginning. Try to figure out what exactly do you want to be known for. What kind of photographer are you? Are you a weddings photographer? Are you an events photographer? Are you a portraits photographer? Are you a sports photographer? Are you a nighttime photographer? What kind of photographer do you want to be? That's something you need to figure out between the first 6 months of your photography business. What kind of photographer do I want to be? So your style comes from shooting and what you actually enjoy. I wouldn't recommend to choose a style based off of profit, based off of money, or based off of what you think, you know, other people would like. I would tell you to choose what exactly do you enjoy shooting, because if you think about it, the thing that you enjoy shooting the most will actually create more passion, which will drive the money to come towards you. So I would recommend, if you have a passion in events, you have a passion in, you know, bringing out people's day and making people's day come to life, I would advise you to choose events photography. If you have a passion in wedding, you love to see love, you love to see people happy, people engaged, you know, I would suggest that you should choose wedding photography. If you love sports, you love being in the action, you love being in the field, you know, you love, you know, all the action that comes from sports, you know, I suggest you choose to be a sports photographer. You know, all these things really adds up. And these are what clients are really looking at. When they go to your portfolio, they don't want to see you doing a million different things, because then that tells them that this guy actually just, you know, does a lot but hasn't really figured out what they want to be known for. It's better for someone to come to your page and they know exactly what you are, what you shoot, and what your skills and professions are. Take that tip. Don't shoot everything. Niche down, guys, and choose exactly what you want to do. That plays an important role in your future of your business. So how long does it really take to get good at photography? That answer all depends on you. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to be great? Honestly, that timetable varies. One of the most important things I tell a lot of photographers is to shoot every day. Try to learn something new every day. Try to learn your camera in and out every day. Learn something new from your camera. Shoot something every day. If you have pets at home, if you live with someone at home, try to just get in their face and capture the moment. Capture the moment of everything. Try to have photography as, you know, your bread and butter. Know your camera in and out. So how long does it take to get good at photography? I'd say once you start getting paid for your gigs, once people start paying you for your pictures, I would say that you're good at photography, or you're getting good at photography, depending on how much they're paying you. Once you start getting the thousands, now say, okay, you're good at photography. You're a professional at photography. No, one of the biggest mistakes I made when I started photography was that I was chasing gear. I was trying to figure out what was the best gear that I can get. I was trying to figure out all these things about gear, the best camera I can get, the best lenses I can get, the best lighting I can get. And really, all those things does not matter. Guys, do not chase gear. Chase learning. Chase light. I would say lighting is even more important than the gear. If you have great lighting, trust me, any of your pictures would look phenomenal. The gear does not matter. Like I said, I started with an A7 III. Even though it's a decent camera, but it's very outdated. But my pictures looked amazing because I had great lighting. Do not chase gear. Gear does not matter. As a beginner photographer, trust me, no one is gonna notice that you're shooting on a 6700. No one's gonna notice that you're shooting on a ZVE 110. No one is gonna notice. Like sometimes I can't even notice the difference between an A7 IV and an A7 III. No, it doesn't matter. Your gear, your camera body, trust me, if you have great lighting, you can make any picture look amazing with great lighting. Instead of investing on camera body, I would say invest in good lighting. Lighting makes up at least 80% of your picture. Trust me. Camera body is not as important as you think. Obviously, there comes a time where, you know, your body matters, your gear matters once you get into, you know, a really niche down area of photography. But as a beginner, you just want to have a camera body that shoots. Do not think about gear. Don't get a $2,000 camera. Don't get an expensive camera. Get a decent camera and don't worry about gear. Trust me, as you build up your portfolio, as you build up your experience, the gear and the money from the gear is gonna come. Yeah guys, these are the things that I wish someone told me when I first started photography. These are the things that if I started photography today in 2026, these are the things that I would focus on the most. And if you're interested about photography and you really want your passion to come into fruition, stick around in my channel and I'll drop more tips and experiences that I learned along the way that also might help you as well. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.